friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you my Black Friday Small Business Saturday-ish haul. So we've got what do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. 4 of them are for me, and the rest are gifts. And I'm pretty sure the people that these are gifts for do not watch my content. So if you do, surprise! These are your gifts. So the first couple books I want to mention are Winter Counts and Lobisona. So this Winter Counts, I'm sure you've seen this one around in the internet book world. This is a Indigenous authored crime thriller. I bought this for my mother-in-law because it looks like she reads a lot of that genre. And then this Lobisona, this cover's fucking beautiful. This is a YA fantasy novel that I read earlier this year that I really enjoyed, and I bought this for a young cousin of mine who primarily speaks Spanish, but her English, I think, is good enough that she would enjoy this. And something that I forgot to mention when I talked about this one was there is Spanish interspersed in this story. And sometimes it's not, it's always kind of translated so you kind of know what's said, but it's not always translated literally, which, as someone who's bilingual, I found really, it was an experience that, felt meant for me. But I feel like that, and also, the amazing story is gonna be really interesting for her. Cool. So both of these I bought from a local bookstore. And around this time, I think this was Black Friday or the day after, there was an offer from LibroFM that if you could provide proof of purchase that you had spent at least $15 at an independent bookstore, you could get a free audiobook from a list of 12 titles. So I submitted my receipt for this purchase and picked up a copy of The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin for myself. I just finished reading the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin, and I'm in love, so I'm really glad that I picked up that one, because all the books on that particular offer, I think I had heard of 10 of them and they all sounded interesting, so I was very torn on which one. So I'm glad I picked up another one from N.K. Jemisin because this first book I read of her I really enjoyed. So that was one for me. All right, next purchase are these. These are 5 books. These are all used books that I picked up from Better World Books. They are an online new and used bookstore. I think they're UK based, but they definitely have warehouses and stuff in the US. And I keep that in mind when I'm picking out my order. I try to bundle my order so that they're all shipping from the same warehouse. Or in this case, I got 3 from one warehouse, 2 from another one, just to cut down on packaging. And I should have looked this up, but Better World Books does something where a portion of each purchase goes towards literacy programs or donating books. I should have looked this up. I'm sorry. I will have a link to what they are about in the description box below. They do a good thing. My one complaint, this is my second time ordering from Better World Books, my one complaint is the packaging is very minimal. It's just a shrink wrapped plastic bag. So I suspect that, I have evidence with one of them that one of my corners got chipped because I found the chipped corner knocking around in the bag. But I was buying all used stuff anyway, so, and I suspect that they have selected that shipping process to help them process orders quickly and also keep costs down. So it's not going to prevent me from ordering them, but it is something to keep in mind, especially if you are trying to buy new books or you're looking for some super rare collectible edition. Just be aware what you're getting into, and then you won't be disappointed. Anyway, let me talk you through what I got. So these first 3 books are for me. This is Contact Bar by Carl Sagan. I love the movie adaptation of this. I've never read the book. I really like the movie. I think it's a really interesting sci-fi. I earlier this year read Cosmos by Carl Sagan, and I like that one. I didn't love it. There was something about the writing that I talk about this in another review, but like it was very like wandering and kind of flowery that I felt would lend itself more to fiction than to the nonfiction. It just made me get very distracted. So, you know, it didn't turn me off him as a writer, but made me just kind of think about, I probably would like him in fiction better than nonfiction. And I love the movie. And I was also really curious about this because in the movie, I really like how it deals with like the intersection of faith and science. But in the Book of Cosmos, I came up with the impression of like, oh, Carl, how did religion hurt you? This is personal. The way that like, I mean, it feels like he kind of predicted the way that faith has become this barrier to progress. Like, the push for like creationism to be taught alongside science in schools and stuff. It feels kind of like he was seeing that coming. But the way it was treated in the movie, I thought, was kind of at odds with that. So I'm interested to read the source material and see how was that portrayed in the book compared to the movie. Enough of that. The next thing I picked up is The Bone People by Carrie Hulme. The author, Carrie Hulme, is a New Zealand Maori author. And I picked this up because I forgot her channel name, but I will link it in the description because I'm unprepared. But this was one of the books that she picked up for Indigathon for her non-US based prompt. And I remember seeing that prompt and being like, I have no suggestion. I have nothing on like my Goodreads TBR that fits that prompt. So the description of this one sounded really interesting. I'll just read it really quick. Carolyn Holmes lives alone in a tower by the New Zealand Sea. Part Maori, part European, she is a writer, a painter, and something of a hermit. One day Simon, a mute, bedraggled, silver-haired boy, enters her tower and her life. Soon Carolyn becomes tied by bonds of love and of brutality to Simon and his Maori foster father Joe. It seemed interesting, and I found a used copy, so I don't feel like I'm going to read this immediately, but now I've got something that is non-US and non-North American indigenous focused on my TBR for future reading prompts where it would fit. I'm prepared. Okay. The next book I picked up is The Reason I Jump by Naoki Higashida. Introduction by David Mitchell. And I think this is this translated from Japanese? Yeah, this is translated. So this story is the inner voice of a 13-year-old boy with autism. So this I picked up on recommendation from the Mickey Rowe. Mickey Rowe is an autistic stage actor. He is the first performer with autism who has performed the lead role in The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. The role is a boy with autism, and he's the first performer with autism to play in it. And he's a very, very vocal disability and autism rights advocate, specifically in the performance world. So this was a book that he highly recommended. I had a couple other books, like I've got Disfigured is a book on my wish list, and Disability Visibility, but those are both fairly recent releases, so I haven't been able to find them used, but I found this secondhand. I do think it's important to also like sometimes purchase new stuff as a way to support these kind of topics and these authors and stuff, but I'm, for reasons, also trying to just not buy every single book immediately new all the time. You know, this was a recommendation from a person actually with autism, so I trust the recommendation, and I look forward to reading this. I need to go and like make myself a little calendar of all of like the diversity reading month stuff in the year to come, such as like Black History Month, and like I know there's like a deaf awareness month, and like an autism awareness. I don't know if it's a week or a month, but I want to. So this is another book that I'm not going to read immediately, but I bought it to make sure I've got something on my TBR for one of those prompts that I don't have to wait at the library for. I am still going to make liberal use of my library, but there's something to be said for, like, I have no excuse to not read it because it is right there in front of me. Okay, so the next two books are gifts. This is Transcription by Kate Atkinson. This I have purchased for my father-in-law, who pretty much exclusively, he either reads like military history or espionage thriller or like military thriller. That kind of very much white boys club in terms of the authors. So I went looking for, I found an article that listed quite a few female authors who are getting recognition in the genre. So I picked out like 2 or 3 titles and then like showed his wife them, being like, which of these 3 do you think he would like? And this was one of them, and then I found a used copy. So I think that's going to be gift ideas for the future. Let's see if I can find a non-white male author in this genre that he likes. And if he doesn't like them, I mean, he'll read it. And whatever he doesn't want to keep, they take back to the used bookstore in their town. If it doesn't become a new favorite, cool. I will choose a different author for the next gift-giving idea. So the last book I picked up from Better World Books is the Camp and Cabin Cookbook by Laura Bashar. This is 100 recipes to prepare wherever you go. I bought this for my cousin's girlfriend. Well, it's kind of from both of them, but she's really the cook of the family. And I bought this because I don't think she's much of like a recipes person, but this has a lot about the techniques of cooking while camping, like how to deal with cooking over open flame and how to like make, you know, good coals and how to cook in like cast iron and how to cook like in tinfoil. So, and they've been doing camping. They've been going camping a lot, and they go camping in his Tesla. If he folds his back seat down, he's got 6 feet of length in there, and they go car camping in his Tesla. Cool, great. But seriously, I think that's really awesome. I bought this. It's not the only thing I bought her, but it's one of the things where I'm like, I bought this more for the techniques that it talks about in here than the recipes, but maybe you find a recipe that's cool. Sadly, this one's got like a really little bit of damage in this. I don't think this happened in transit because there was nothing on the packaging. There's like no mark or hole in the packaging, but I bought a used book online. There's only so much I can expect. But yeah, it looks cool. It's got like a good balance of like recipes, techniques, photos, etc. Okay. All right. The last book I picked up, and this I only actually grabbed a couple of days ago, which is why I'm like, it's not quite Black Friday-ish, but it's part of the gift things. This is Z is for Zambia, the A to Z alphabet book by Change Kwesele and Zanji Sinkala, photography by Bella Zulu et al. This book is a tribute to the amazing people, languages, sights, and sounds, tastes, and fun found in Zambia. So, I picked this up for my cousin's little ones. They are 6 months and going to be turning 4. Maybe even the 4-year-old might be a little bit young to really appreciate it, because what it does is it like has a letter, and then it has like in English, and then in Nyanja, and then Bemba, which I assume are the predominant languages in Zambia. But one of the authors I went to school with, we're not close, we haven't kept in touch, but I remember when she came out with this book, and I thought it was really cool. And so I'm like, hey, I don't know if your kids are really going to be into it, but maybe it'll inspire them to be curious about learning languages or be curious about learning about other countries or something. And I'm also supporting these authors and supporting diverse books in our kids' lives. And this one I did have to buy from Amazon because it's not published anywhere else. It was like a small independent project, so... And then I think I had found like a used copy, but then I'm like, I want to make sure some of the proceeds go to the original creators, which I don't think I can guarantee with a used copy. So I bundled it with like something my partner had to order from Amazon because we couldn't find it anywhere else. So anyway, but yeah, it's got pictures of people and places and food and stuff. M is for mango. Great. All right. That's my gifting book haul. Like 50% of the books are for other people, which I think is a good trend. I will have the titles listed in the description box down below. I will have my other social media if you would like to connect with me elsewhere. So please check out the description box for all the other things I mentioned. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I encourage you to go out into the world and be curious. I will catch you folks in my next video. Bye!